and welcome back to my channel. It's 4th of July in America and I decided to make a patriotic outfit. I start by cutting this red and white striped fabric in half. This will be the outer skirt. This skirt will have 8 petticoats underneath it because I want to make it full and fluffy. So this red and this blue polka dot fabric and I have a mesh fabric will create the petticoats. The mesh fabric I cut into about 4-inch wide strips. I also used the extra blue polka dotted and red fabric as strips as well to make ruffles to make the petticoats even fluffier. I have this blue and white star fabric to make the waistband and the overcoat. I first cut a strip that's 4 inches wide doubled over, so it'll actually be 8 inches wide. And I did cut a piece of interfacing to help structure the waistband. I ironed on the strip of fusible interfacing to my waistband, and then I folded the edges inward on itself because I will be sandwiching the skirt and the petticoats in between. For the red and white striped outer skirt, it is 2 pieces that I did sew together to make a long rectangle. For those strips of the polka dotted blue fabric and the red fabric and the mesh fabric, I serged both edges, and then here I am gathering the blue polka dotted and the mesh fabric to make very long ruffles. Once the ruffles were gathered, I went ahead and attached those to the edges of each petticoat I have made. The blue and white polka dotted one, however, I did attach 2 ruffles to that skirt. With each of the petticoats, I did serge the edges of them, so I did not have to hem them. And with the outer skirt, the red and white striped one, I did do a rolled hem on it. Once all the ruffles and petticoats were put together and the red and white striped one was hemmed, I went ahead and I laid it all out on my floor and I layered one on top of each other. I did this to make sure that they were all the same length. And these skirts are really long. I will be cutting these in half, and those will be the rest of the petticoat. And each one will be gathered in the waistband. Now I'm gathering each petticoat down to the sides of the waistband, and this entire bunch of skirts will be sewn together and then sewn inside the waistband. Now it's time to close up the back. The waistband does overlap itself, so I wasn't too worried about putting a zipper in, so I just sewed in some hooks and eyes, and the back of the skirts will close over themselves, so you won't be seeing anything underneath. So each skirt was sewn together individually up to a point. Here I'm just folding the ends of the waistband in and then sewing them down. With my high collared shirt, I went ahead and used plastic wrap and masking tape on my mannequin for my daughter, and I drew out the pattern. It's just a simple white shirt with a high collar and snaps. This white cotton is actually really thin, so I did double it up on the front only. And then I am making a vest. I originally started out with a halter top style vest, but this satin material was bad. So bad, so slippery. I do not recommend using it. So I did eventually change it later on. But to get to the pattern, I did do the same thing as I did with the white shirt. Saran wrap, masking tape, and then drew out the pattern. And with the white shirt, I did serge the front panels together, so that way there were 2 layers. And then I sewed the shoulder seams, side seams, and attached the collar with some fusible interfacing and the sleeves. With the vest, I had created a pattern when I created her Halloween costume last year of the Late but Lucky dress from Alice the Madness Returns video game. So I just used that. And of course, to create that pattern, all I did was take my mannequin and saran wrap and masking tape and then drew out the pattern. However, this one I altered. I just cut the collar down the way I wanted it. Whereas the Late but Lucky dress didn't have a collar, I just added one to it. And to put this together, I sewed the shoulder seams, side seams, and this does have lining to it, and then I sandwiched the collar, which I created from the red and white striped fabric, in between the two layers. And I added some buttons to the front. And here I made the collar. I did mess this up a little bit, and I had to extend the middle part because I forgot to add that on originally. And I did cut some fusible interfacing and I attached it to the collar. And after making this vest, I realized that with the vest and the skirt, it looks like a candy cane. And I did top stitch just to keep the collar down. And to finish the edges of the sleeves and the bottom, I used bias tape to bind the raw edges. Now for the coat, this actually went together fairly fast and easy, which surprised me. I used my pattern I created when I made the Late but Lucky dress. However, I extended the back portion to have tails and the sleeves to have cups, and a different collar as well. And I put this together the same exact way as I did the shirt and the vest. Shoulder seams, side seams, and then I added the cuff to the sleeves, and then I did the same thing to the lining. But apparently I lost the footage of me making the coat. And now it's time to make the bow for the back of the coat and the bow tie. And if you want to see a good tutorial on how to make bows, I will leave it linked below. Here I'm just making it up, trying to figure out how I want to cut the neck portion for the bow tie. And yes, that is my daughter in a Santa suit I made her last year. She likes playing dress up. For the bow on the back of the coat, it will be a double bow that's about 6 to 8 inches long. And I did add fusible interfacing to it so it will hold up on its own. And with the bow tie, I did exactly the same thing, except I only made it a single layer bow, and then I added a neckband to it when I used hooks and eyes to close it. And then I attached the double bow to the back of the coat. Now to add some extra zhuzh to the coat, I found these red and blue stars as buttons at Walmart, and I decided to attach those to the cuffs and the front of the jacket. And what's an American patriotic outfit without a top hat? I did make a top hat for her. I used Simplicity pattern 8713. However, I did scale it down to her size. And this is the same exact pattern I used to make the top hat for her Late But Lucky costume. The hat is primarily white with a red and white striped band. And then afterwards I added some blue, red, and white flowers and some other decorations. And here's the final outfit. I think it came out really cute, and I think it's as patriotic as you can get. And y'all have a happy 4th of July, and I will see you not this Monday, but next. Bye!